How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Today we're going to talk about chasing the highest interest rate savings accounts. Now, if you watched my previous video on the highest interest rate savings account, you would have gotten a Synchrony bank account that had a 1.05 APY. As the federal funds rate increase, we're going to see some of these bank accounts automatically adjust their interest rate a little bit higher each time. This is going to be a pretty slow creep, and you're going to wonder if it's worth your time to actually switch savings account every single time they increase it by like 0.1%. So today I'm going to talk about when it's actually worthwhile to switch accounts. The federal funds rate is a rate that the Fed set for interbank lending. This rate that they set determines a lot of other interest rates, including variable interest rates. So you see here, they telegraph what they're going to do in the future already. Currently, right now in May 2017, the target rate is around 0.75 to 1%. Towards the end of 2017, they're targeting a rate of 1.5%. Now, these rates are not set in stone and it depends on the economy, so things may change from what they say they're going to do. 2018, they're going to target around 2%, so you see another 0.5% increase. And towards the end of 2019, they're targeting a rate of 3%. Now, you see this is a really slow crawl of 0.5%, another 0.5%, and then 1%. If they're going to increase these rates, we're going to be able to see that the savings rate is going to slowly creep up after they raise these rates. It's not going to be immediate or overnight until other banks start to jump in, like this bank purely thing, and they go, oh yeah, we're going to give you more interest rate, and then other banks would follow suit. So there's going to be a little lag behind this. For about a year or so, Synchrony had the best interest rate with no strings attached at 1.05%. Before this, I was using Discover, which had 0.9%, and just this month they increased it to 1.01%. You see how Discover increased their interest rate just to be more competitive, because they have all these other banks that have a higher interest rate. They're losing customers, so they need to increase this interest rate just to keep some of their customers. Now, if you don't have an online savings bank already and you have a current savings bank that gives you 0.01% or 0.03%, which is likely if you have something like Chase, Wells Fargo's, or Bank of America, they give you nothing. So instead of putting your cash in those big banks, you might want to look towards putting it in these online banks. There's these new ones called CIT Bank 1.15% or Bank Purely 1.3%. CIT Bank even has something interesting where if you put in 15K or more, you get a $100 bonus. Now, it's easy to chase after the highest rate. You go, oh yeah, 1.3%, I'm gonna go with Bank Purely. 2 months later, they have something like 1.35% or 1.4% somewhere else, and then you go, okay, I'm gonna cancel that account and then just jump to always the highest interest rate bank account. But this might cost you a lot of time, because let's say every time you jump, you need to take maybe 1 hour to do all the paperwork or sign up online or whatnot. This comes down to actually how much cash that you put in your savings account. Typically, if you put too much cash in there, you're going to lose towards inflation, because inflation is about 2%. And if you put something in your savings account and it only makes 1%, you're losing 1% of effective buying power every year. So in order to not lose this 1%, you really should be investing it instead, such as in a mixture of bonds or stocks or whatnot. So for me personally, I just keep enough in cash to be comfortable, maybe 6 to 12 months worth of living expenses. Any cash beyond this amount, you should really look towards investing it instead. So let's just do some easy math here. Let's say you have $10,000 in a savings account, and all these numbers are actually APY. So all you have to do is just move the decimal over 2 spots, and that's how much money you would get every single year. $10,000, 1.05%, you get $105 every single year. Discover, every $10,000 you put in, you're going to get $95 a year, and now you're actually going to get $101. Oh, the difference of just about $6 a year. Bank Purely, you're going to get $130 per year. So here I come to the point where if you have a particular savings account already, you have a pretty good yield. Let's say you have a Synchrony account where you make $105 already, and let's say you look at this Bank Purely thing and then go, hey, that's a better rate. But if you only have $10,000 in there, which I recommend you not having that much cash anyway, unless you're going to buy a house or whatnot, then the difference here is only $25 a year. You're going to have to think about if this is worth your time. Let's say it takes you 1 hour. Then after sitting your money in there for a whole year, then you'll make $25 more. Personally, for me, I'm using Synchrony and I'm not going to move to Bank Purely just for that $25, because I think it's a little bit too much work. Even if I have $20,000, it's only $50, so it's still a little bit of too much work, but it really depends on how much cash that you personally hold in these accounts, and you can figure out how much difference in interest that you get, and then you can go from there. This CIT bank is a little different though, because if you put in 15K or more, then you get a $100 bonus. This is roughly twice the amount of interest. So if you switch to it from Synchrony to CIT bank, you're really getting $100 plus an additional $10. So $110 for your effort of switching over, and you get to hold this amount in there for 3 months, which is not bad, but it's not really great either. Of course, if you don't have a high yield online savings account, go ahead, get one of the new ones. Except for these banks, I actually don't have it myself, and you actually have to go and verify them yourself to make sure that they are a good bank. I know Bank Purely is pretty new. It's a division of Flushing Bank. CIT Bank, I didn't look too much into that. So do your research on these banks before moving your money in there, because it represents a lot of principal risk. When you put money in there, you think you're going to get 1%, but it's a lot worse if you ever lose the principal, because that's 100% of the money that you put in. So thanks for watching. I hope you don't leave most of your cash in a savings account that earns you almost next to nothing. Go ahead and switch to one of these accounts if you like. I personally recommend Synchrony or Discover because I actually used them before, and I can say that, yeah, they're not bad. It's also important to note that as the federal funds rate keep on increasing their rate, the bank that always gets the highest interest rate most likely will not increase it along with the Fed. So what you're going to end up seeing is that once you go to a bank with a really high interest rate, they're going to hold it constant, and then there's going to be another bank that pops up that has a little bit higher interest rate. So then you're going to have to end up, jumping from one place to another, to another, to another. So really, you just got to wait long enough until the difference is good enough that you would spend the effort to change the account. Don't forget to give me a like on this video, comment down below. Let me know if you're going to switch to one of these accounts. If you're interested in supporting this channel, don't forget to check out my Audible link down in the video description below, where you can get a free audiobook, and even if you cancel the trial, you can still help benefit this channel, and you can still keep the audiobook for free. You can also try a 30-day free subscription for Gamefly down in the video description below. I have a Patreon over here, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.